can look either way or mostly?
Hello, everybody. Well, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
We're still checking because this is an experiment. Good audio? Okay, yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Good audio. Okay, we're live reporting from EuroStar 2025 here in Edinburgh. And I managed to get like a very special cavalcade of testers and presenters that are going to be sharing with us today some tips on how to submit a successful CFP. So I will let the participants introduce themselves. First, please.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Anne-Yves van Asselt. I'm originally from the Netherlands, but I moved to Germany, to Berlin a couple of years ago to be a QA engineer at a startup called Choco. And their mission is to reduce food waste globally. So that's very cool to work for. And I'm educating the teams, I'm helping standardizing test automation, setting up GitHub workflows, everything around testing. They have a big part of AI in their product as well. And also using AI for testing. So interesting environment.
Aren't we all? Sehr gut.
Dankeschön.
Next.
Yes, hi, my name is Linne van der Voren. I work for Bartels in the Netherlands. I'm a test manager, quality coach and a speaker. And this year also in the program committee. So I reviewed a lot of papers for this conference.
Yep.
Yeah.
And last, we have an imposter.
Yes, I'm Tanja Vos. I'm a university professor in Valencia and at the Open University of the Netherlands. And I'm actually program chair.
Right?
And recently got my hair cut and dyed. And yeah, I'm program chair of the programming committee this year.
Excellent, excellent. We have awesome members of the committee, reviewers, presenters. So let's dive right into it. What is, first of all, what's a CFP? Some people may not know. Why would one want to submit a CFP?
Well, the CFP stands for Call for Papers. So it's the committee or the organization asking people if they want to present at next year's EuroStar. So it mostly comes out 6 to 8 months before the actual event, and then you can actually start to submit your abstract and say, I want to present this at the next EuroStar.
And an abstract is a short idea that kind of highlights what you're going to talk about. And that should contain some information on your actual talk. Otherwise, the committee that's going to be reading it doesn't know what you're going to talk about.
And why actually talking at a conference? For me, I wouldn't have thought that I liked it so much, but I really got into it, and I feel that you learn a lot more on the subject that you talk about, because you actually have to dive more deeper in it. You have to explain the subject, you have to talk about your own experiences. So it's like a learning experience, but also sharing with the audience and also getting their feedback. So it's quite a nice experience, actually.
Yeah, if you get the itch to come and be on stage here, because that's a big step.
It's addictive. It's
deciding.
addictive.
Exactly,
It's scary at the beginning, but once you're up there and you go through it, like, oh, I think I kind of enjoy this. Like playing the clown up there in stage, and especially some of us enjoy the clown part more than others, but it's a huge experience.
But you should realize that you're doing it for the audience and not for yourself.
Super
Right? The
important.
audience is you want to teach them something, you want to tell them something, you want to share knowledge. It's not about you being on stage, it's about them learning what you have to say.
And I think that's a very good starting point for a good CFP, on the recommendations on what should people submitting to the next EuroStar. Please submit. Stay tuned. The new place will be announced tomorrow. But what should they take into account as well? Is a message? What do you want them to learn? Any other interesting recommendations that you think people need to really, really pay attention to?
Well, what I find is that when I talk to people about ideas to talk about, is that they underestimate how interesting their story is. But a lot of stories that I talk to people about on the floor here are stories that could go on the stage. So don't underestimate what you have to share. It's probably good enough.
It's a great thing when you say that. Many say like what I know no one will care about. No, they will care. If you know something, for sure, many, many more people do not know it, have not learned it, and especially, even if you're a starter, I would say something interesting, right?
And also, don't assume everyone already knows that bit that you know, because they probably don't.
Most
Or they
probably.
should hear it again.
Yeah. No, or at the very least, a different perspective.
Yes.
And of course, there are different type of talks. You have experience talks, you have visionary talks, where you actually try to envision something that would happen in the future. You have talks about, well, actually more theoretical, that has more educational part. But for me, I like the experiential talks the most, where you share your experience that you already have, and try to keep it authentic. Try to keep it being you and sharing your own experiences.
Yeah, and definitely also when it comes to like technical topics, if you talk about playwright, for example, yeah, like if you want to know how playwright works and how to write a test, you can just like look it up on internet and find a readme. I think the most interesting is like, how did you apply it? Is there like a specific test automation architecture that you used, or specific way of using the tool to achieve the goal within your context? I think that is very interesting.
And in terms of, because I know the topic is really, really important, the audience, what you want to teach, the different perspectives, but the writing also, I mean, the people submitting have to convince you guys. How can they convince, what do you like to see? What are the things that you say like, this is a good one?
I think I'm going to speak for all conference reviewers in the world. Please don't use AI to write your abstract. It's human talk, human language is way more acceptable than all this AI fluff that you get in there. I got headaches from AI written abstracts because it's too artificial.
But I do want to give a nuance there, because I think it's like maybe like not like using AI in general, because like to be honest, I use it a lot when like writing texts, but like instead of generating by AI, like write up the idea and like everything that you want to tell, that you want to convey, and let it review by AI, or maybe like restructure or like sharpen the message without like reducing your voice, right? And there's also some custom like prompts and GPTs that you can create to actually to make it your own, and not like start a paper with like in the fast-paced world of software development. That's actually a lie. That a lot of papers start with like something generic, like start with like something personal, or a quote, or like something you yourself experienced. And I think it's like AI is there. I think
sure,
you can, but it's like
use it in the proper way. Let's
generating, but
it can be a useful
it can
tool.
help you. Yeah.
But I think you always have to put your voice at the very end, or give it a trick, because you're right. It comes up with some words that I'm like, I never speak like that.
Yeah.
Who speaks like
No,
that?
yeah, exactly.
You're drunk, AI. Go home.
No one does.
Right?
No one
If you have to look up the word, then probably it's not for you.
But the funny thing is, if no one talks like that, how does AI pick it up? Because it should be the statistical, most likely. Well, okay.
Well, it's about English, and that's.
We're getting deeper into the AI. And yes, the topic for this podcast has been lots of AI getting into quality assurance and so on. But no. Right now we're CFPing.
Right.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
but one tip to actually write a good abstract is write it like a news article. The title should already be enticing. The first paragraph should make you want to read more. So draw the people into your abstract. So you actually have, after 2 sentences, you should be hooked and you want to read the rest. Those are the good abstracts.
Yes.
Sure.
And I don't mind if there's language errors in there at all. At least that makes me feel like it's written by a human. Like, yes, check your work, but I'd rather see an error in language than AI.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do agree, and especially nowadays feels more human. because you know definitely these days this is not AI. You can tell a real person is putting their heart on it, their flaws. That's also, as long as it's not like, oh my God, I cannot read this. This is so. I've seen some abstracts that are. It's like, oh, I'm not sure if this level of English should go on stage or things like that. But yeah, making your true.
Yeah, I think one other thing to mention for me, it's the first time actually being part of a program committee, and before that I've done some talks before, and I actually see that I learned a lot from sitting on the other side of the table and working together to review the papers as well. And I think like also being very concrete on what it is that you're going to share, not only like the concept or the talk, but also be specific on like what the takeaways are, what the added value is for the audience. I think that's also something that really like triggered myself to like have another look on my papers, and I think I got like some more acceptations this year as well. So
if you leave everything to be discovered in the talk itself, then it's very difficult for us to pick you because we don't know what you're actually going to be showcasing.
That's a difficult kind of balance, because am I spoiling the whole talk by just throwing everything here, or I don't know. I think if you cannot describe well what you're going to be doing, but as well you have lots of beef around it, to call it, for the actual talk, it's important, because I have reviewed a few that is, I'm not sure what you're going to be talking about, or another one, please, buzzwords. Limit them as much as possible, and I've seen a couple is 90% buzzwords, and I'm like, what did I just read?
Yes. And it's like an ironic conundrum that you want to say what your talk is about without spoiling too much. But yeah, you do have to actually sell your idea, and the conundrum is also, if you're a good speaker, you're not necessarily a good writer. It's a different craft. So writing the abstract, I suggest get reviews on it, get help, because you might shine on the stage, but if writing is not your forte, please get help, because it's. I also get my abstracts reviewed and looked at by a minimum of 3 other people.
And possibly one native speaker as well, such that they can actually look at the wordings that you use and say, well, we shouldn't say it like that, I shouldn't put it like this. I normally ask James Lindsay to review my abstracts because he actually is a native speaker, and I ask Huip Schoots to actually review my abstracts because he's really precise and really looks at all the details. So those are my 2 go-to buddies for reviewing my abstracts.
That's a very good recommendation. Native speakers, and I would add your language speakers, because what has happened to me, Spanish, mother language, some friends read mine and they are like, I know what you're trying to say here, but in English you actually say it like this, because we say like our Spanish, Mexican, I don't know, slangs, and that does not translate. And a few times I have said things that were really wrong, but they are pretty okay in Spanish. So be careful with those as well.
It's a learning experience, right?
Yeah.
I do feel there is like a challenge around papers and conferences, or it's becoming more of a challenge, because what I see, especially like with all of these AI developments, it goes with such a speed now, and like if you submit a paper for a conference, the conference is like 6 months away, right? And like a lot of developments can happen a long way. So that can be a thing also when you have something concrete. But then like a lot of things happen and you actually evolutionize your whole paper, and then like that might be might be something tricky, but I don't know what you think about that.
If you have a topic like AI and you're going to present on AI, that will be a topic. But if you present something like testing hasn't changed that much in the last 5 years. So you have less of a chance of drift, as to say it. So depends on the topic that you're going to present.
Yeah, true.
I think as well on that line, the trendy new topics that we have right now, and I was having, I think I was talking with you, how many talks were not about AI. It's a smallish percentage of the talks, which there's a risk with that. If you are talking about something AI super new, a couple of the people that were interviewed here they were like, I had to change my talk because what I was thinking, what I submitted, it moved, changed, whatever. So be careful as well with some of the topics. Don't get that much on the latest trend. It would be like, and I was joking, like presenting about blockchain 1 year after blockchain, and like no one cares now, and meh. So it's an interesting balance too. Picking good topics.
Fine line.
How do you fight this? Because everybody wants to whatever AI. That's why we have so many talks. How would you recommend to submit a CFP that? Because I've seen so much AI that is just shaft, just buzzwords. How would you suggest people to attack or approach this CFP AI based?
Look at the theme, and of course this year the theme was AI, so therefore we have a lot of AI based talks. But next year the theme might be MCP, for instance. I'm not sure. You know, you never know what's going to come next. And then of course we get a lot of MCP talks. But as a programming committee, you try to balance. You try to strike the balance between on theme and also some stuff which is not on theme. Because if all the talks would have been about AI, a number of people would not have been interested anymore and would not have come. So you have to have the balance between on topic, off topic, beginner, expert level, different countries, gender, and everything like that. So setting up a program is hard work. And then people fall ill and you have to replace them and stuff like that. So it's a balancing act. But it's an interesting thing to do, as Annie said. It's nice to be on that side of the table for once.
For sure.
And as someone who's thinking about proposing a paper, stick to what your competence is. If you are not AI, don't submit on AI. And there are still talks that are not about AI.
Wait, but I'm using ChatGPT now. I'm an expert, right? I'm being sarcastic.
Yes.
But that is actually something that we see, right? That like an existing talk, you just sprinkle some AI over it, and then it's like blah 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 and AI, and we had that with and automation and agile.
Yes.
And so it's also about like what kind of perspective on AI, and of course with testing, it's like testing AI applications or using AI to test your applications, basically using ChatGPT to write some test cases, or like do some cool mutation testing stuff with LLMs and agents. Like, yeah,
that's when you have too much.
No, yeah, but we're also looking for a bit of a unique perspective on AI, not just like the straightforward
Mainstream.
idea. Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, and I like someone's strong opinion on something. And for me, it doesn't have to be AI.
But I think that's a very good general recommendation. Like in your CFP, prove that you're strongly opinionated about whatever you're going to be talking about.
Yes.
Saying like, I'm adamant, and I'm probably even like bad wording this situation. Like, really, believe me, I'm going to blow your mind, right? I don't know. It's something that when you read some of those abstracts, if you don't feel, and I don't know how to recommend it, like the passion in the written word from the person, I'm like, this one is just like submitting to be in a conference, right? So I think like if you're passionate, prove it.
Passionate and authentic. Should be authentic, right? It should be you that's on stage and not someone else's opinion that you are going to voice.
Really, really important. So now, I think time-wise, we need to start wrapping up these recommendations. So, giving you a last chance, each one of you, what it would be your biggest recommendation for the audience watching us on how to submit a successful CFP, that if you read it, you would be like, oh my God, I want this person.
I would like it to show enthusiasm. Have the big opinion, show the enthusiasm also in the abstract. That really helps.
What do you want to see to notice that enthusiasm?
I love to see some personality, something that shows me what they're going to be like on the stage.
That's really good.
And maybe even jokes, or like something unusual, or like a very unpopular quote as a title, like "Testing is dead" or "Long live the tester."
Make a bold statement. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and then like you're at least triggered, and then maybe you make some kind of twist. But
Yeah.
and be concrete.
Yeah, and like Annie already said, a good title is half of the work. If you have a title that already is like, ooh, that's something that I'm interested in, it's better than the evolution of testing, because nobody is interested in the evolution of testing. So, yeah.
Or automation, how does it work?
Yeah, but testing with dinosaurs, which is kind of the same as evolution of testing, suddenly makes it a bit
Dinosaurs,
different.
you just broke me. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, right, you're right.
Yeah, I love dinosaurs. Why?
Totally.
Who doesn't?
for some reason, the next conference we will get a lot of dinosaur submissions.
We have a new theme.
We will know who was tuning into the show. Okay, well, everybody, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that you wanted here. You wanted to come here, share your perspectives, your recommendations. Quick, before we kill the transmission, where can people get in touch with you and find you?
For me, the best place is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
For me too.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and one more thing, because now I'm stepping out of my role, I'm no longer Tanja Vos.
Okay.
I want to have a big hand for Tanja Vos, because she
Yes.
really put in a lot of work in making this all work.
Yeah.
And she has actually gone the extra mile to get everything going.
Miles.
Miles to
Miles,
actually
yeah,
going.
and the rest of the organization.
Yeah.
not here.
For everybody that
great.
was wondering what was the situation with Tanyo, is that she was supposed to be here. She's on stage right now. We had like some scheduling conflicts, but she's still in spirit here.
For sure.
Tanya, we love you. Thank you.
She's represented.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for having us.
Everybody, have a wonderful day, but stay tuned because this is EuroStar 2025. We're not done yet. We still have like 6, I think, more adventures later today. Stay tuned and we'll be back. So, adios, everybody.
Adios.
Take care.
Adios.
Adios.